There's at least 5 things I can think of that I wish Blackmagic would incorporate into the next iteration of the ATEM Mini Extreme, and they are SuperSource animations, more macro buttons, bigger media pools, video playback from external drives, and HDMI routing. I'll throw in a few more and let me know down in the comments below what you think. If you haven't seen the zillion ATEM Mini Extreme tutorials I've been putting out on this channel over the last few months, for starters, hit that like button below this video and then hit the subscribe button so that way you'll be notified when new videos come out each and every week. The ATEM Mini Extreme is a much needed improvement on the ATEM Mini Pro lineup of switchers. From the addition of 4 more inputs to the 2 HDMI aux outputs and SuperSource, we gained a lot. We just never really gained that stinger button now, did we? Yes, Blackmagic, people are waiting. So what are my wishes for the next iteration, and what are the actual chances we'll get them? Let's dive in, starting with SuperSource. Being able to put 4 boxes on screen is awesome, but we're mostly stuck right now with using hard cuts or creating macros to jump from one SuperSource setup, like a 4 box, to another, like a triple box. The awesome developer Adam Tao created an app called MixEffect, where for only $50, you can animate the boxes on and off screen. It's a much needed tool, and I think it would be smart for Blackmagic to add these features to create for a more dynamic switching experience. Next up is a hardware adjustment. The Select Bus seemed interesting at the time when Blackmagic first launched the ATEM Mini Extreme. You could easily change out what was feeding the keyers, but I quickly realized that there's really no good use for this in a real-world setting. Truthfully, I think they should remove the entire Select Bus section and replace it with 2 rows of 10 macro keys, opening up the macro keypad that already exists to be buttons for some preset SuperSource animations. Let me know thoughts on that one down below. Next is a problem that has plagued me since the ATEM Mini lineup came out, and that's the limit of only 20 images in the media pool and not having a second media pool to separate my full screen graphics from my lower third graphics. I'm curious how hard it would be to implement either a media pool that fits 40 to 50 images or to simply just make a second media pool that fits another 20. I found that for full day events, we might have anywhere from 7 to 12 sessions. So even if we had one single lower third for 12 sessions, an opening and a closing slide, and 3 networking break slides, that puts us at 17 images, nearly filling the media pool. If there's a panel discussion with 5 or 6 people on it, this would put us well over the limit, meaning on our lunch breaks, we need to remove graphics from the media pool and add in more. It's a small nuisance, but I think for the overall user experience, it would be a huge improvement. Beyond the media pool, I think it's time to start thinking about these 2 USB-C ports that we have on the ATEM. Blackmagic just released their HyperDeck Shuttle HD, which just hinted towards the fact that we might be able to start playing videos back off of solid-state drives rather than needing a HyperDeck with an SD card. I think it's high time that we start gaining the ability to do this with the ATEMs, but I can see where Blackmagic wouldn't want to cannibalize their Frankenstein teleprompter / HyperDeck unit. Along those same lines, we need to talk video formats. The amount of people having problems with video playback is quite high. While many would look at this and say it's simply due to the fact that they aren't professional users and they don't know any better or didn't read the manual, I really think that Blackmagic needs to take an Apple-style approach and make it stupid easy to play multiple video formats, frame rates, and codecs, because at this point, they've cornered a consumer and prosumer end of the market, and it's important to cater to those needs if they want to keep them. Now, I know I said I had 5 wishes for the next ATEM, but the truth is there are a few more items I think could lend a hand to a better user experience. The first is heat dissipation. These plastic cases on the ATEM do a really poor job of dissipating heat. I'm not an electronics engineer, but I feel like there needs to be a better heatsink situation, or maybe a more powerful yet silent fan to ensure that the ATEM stays cool. So many people were having issues with overheating and shutdowns that it's time for Blackmagic to take action. Some users that have been around for a while may say this is just typical Blackmagic and their items always run hot, but that's not an excuse for delivering a good product. Bonus number 2 is HDMI routing. We've seen the video hub that allows for signals to be routed so you could select SDI input 1 and route it to SDI output 10. But why can't we do this on the ATEMs? I think being able to change the routing would be a great tool, so we don't need to swap out cables. Not to mention, this could prevent further damage to the HDMI ports, which are already fragile and have failed on some people. Lastly, let's talk about the dreaded fade to black button. Oh, this button. I wish I could just crack open the ATEM and pull the entire button out or permanently disable it. Let's be honest, there's already a black button near the super source and media player buttons. So why do I need a dedicated fade to black button when I could simply press auto and then the black button? Or auto and then press an open HDMI input that doesn't have a feed. This button is far too easy to press, and I will say on at least 2 occasions I've had oh crap moments where the button was accidentally pressed, and it took a second to realize what happened. So those are my thoughts on the ATEM Mini Extreme. I know this is just one man's humble opinion, but I wanted to hear what those of you out there in YouTube land think about these. Do me a favor, and if you like this video, press that subscribe and like button below, and then head on down to the comments section to let me know what you thought. See you next time.